here. First off, we have Dmitry Bog, a former Russian international, and he loves playing the beautiful software. Also here, Mr. Mark Ireland, a British football manager and a veteran FME evangelist. And of course, the longtime commentator and one of the co-founders here at FME Channel, Mr. Dale Lutz. So welcome, guys.
Thank you. Wow. Thunderous applause.
So we have our power poll here, but before we can get to the power poll, we have to take care of our sponsors. So they pay the bills, so. Awesome. The power poll. So it's a power poll. You may recognize your team name here. So we hand selected a few of the, well, we thought were our favorite team names. We put them up here. So in the conference app, under the polls and survey option, there's an option there to place your vote for your favorite. So there may be some cajoling going on. But what you're playing for here, I thought it'd be fitting to have something kind of related. So this is top winner is going to come home with one of these. This is the Whitecaps, the local soccer team. We're not quite on the same level here as the World Cup and the Premiership teams, but and then the two runners up, one of these great scarves here.
So people should be voting using the app right now?
Yeah,
When
start
does the
voting
poll
now.
close?
The polls close tomorrow.
Okay.
So tomorrow afternoon, we'll find out who the winner is.
So can we weigh in on these names?
Yeah, go for it.
We're panelists, we should be able to discuss things.
Yes.
So tell me, Mark, out of these names, which one do you think has the best shot at winning? I think FFS United. That would be one of my personal favorites. How about you, Dimitri? Anything there?
I would go with the Rastafarians.
Well, it's going to be an exciting battle to see who takes home these exciting prizes, Roger.
Have a look here.
We'll be on the edge of our seats until tomorrow.
Okay, so there's been a lot of exciting matches left today. We've got one day left ahead, but before we do that, let's take a look at some of the results from today. So guys, any comments here?
So just to recap, this is the knockout round that began today?
This was the round of 16, so these are the matches that happened today. The last one happened at 4 p.m.
So this is breaking news.
This is breaking news, yeah.
Okay. So this just in. So these ones emerged from the round robin tournament, and prior to that, they emerged out of the 325 that made sort of the A League. And so now we're down to this, and so after today, it looks like what? ArcGIS and MapInfo came in. Yep. Salesforce dropping off against ECW. That shouldn't be a surprise.
No.
Really. But I think we had an upset there. CSV and Oracle, what do you think? Is that an upset?
No, I don't think so.
I'm looking for an upset here. Work with me, Mark. You're not So, but wait a minute. Dimitri, what do you notice about the two CAD programs? Who did they beat?
GM.
So are we allowed to talk about that? I don't know. It seems odd that the two KML format or the two XML formats were up against the CAD formats, given that we know CAD to GIS.
Not formats, they're flavors.
Yes. It seems odd, and
It's always interesting with an in-studio audience here.
yes. So Google Maps Engine got knocked out. PostGIS emerged.
Paul will be happy.
Paul will be happy. Paul probably isn't here now, but he would be very thrilled to see Post taking over.
Well, that's probably, we run it all on PostGIS. Everything.
yeah, that's
this
true.
World Cup is PostGIS, so amount
World
of
Cup
transactions is humongous.
Yeah, it is being run on PostGIS, so that might be the thing. So anyway, that sets us up nicely for tomorrow. So Roger, what's happening tomorrow on this?
Tomorrow we're going to find out who the grand winner is. So the grand winner is coming home with an iPad mini. And then I think there's about 65 or so teams that have entered, so that's pretty good odds if you're in the tournament.
So as sort of panelists, we just love to make predictions. So we're going to get a chance to see how these pair up in a bit.
Yeah, we'll get to that at the end.
Okay. Because I just can't wait to make predictions.
Okay, so this is all based off of usage stats. So one of the things we thought would be interesting to show would be a typical day, according to our usage stats, where workbenches started up. So we have a video here. If we sped up, we're not going to do the whole 24 hours.
In real time.
So this is 24 hours of readers and writers?
Of actually FME startups. So basically, when you start up FME, you get that welcome page. from that welcome page, we can figure out approximately where you are. And we accidentally basically get that information, and so it tells us what goes on. So there you go. Those German guys are still going, even though it's pitch dark. That's why they get so much done. They never stop. Unlike North Americans, looks like we're all in bed, basically. Yeah, we're watching hockey.
Okay, here. So now we're going to take a look at some of the favorite formats in different countries around the world. So we have here North America in 2008, and right after this, we're going to move to North America in 2014.
So we've been gathering stats for years and years and years, and actually only in the last 2 weeks have we started reporting on them in an interesting way. But Dimitri in 2008 ground this up, and we were able to roughly figure out what the most popular format was per state or province.
My SQL statement for this map was about 900 lines.
Yeah, 900 lines of MySQL, proving that you are listening to Paul Ramsey and you're learning some other skills besides FME.
Yeah.
Yes. But if you look, AutoCAD has sort of a lock on the far north, it looks like. And even back then, GML had none of it, which I don't know, none of it was inspiring to our null support, I think. So we carried on from there. So I know I always get in troubles when I try to identify American states. Who knows their American states well? What is XL? Is that Georgia? And I always said that was the old Hexagon, the Intergraph guys, before they sold to Hexagon, they were working on a spreadsheet to figure out what they should sell to Hexagon for. So, and I think obviously using FME for that. But you see a steady trend of map intro through the plains of the US, the wind tunnel there where you can, T-Bone Pickens is installing. Yep. And yeah, so anyway, it's interesting to see. That was a number of years ago. So Roger, you're going to roll it ahead. So here's the current time. And Dimitri, I noticed that 2 states are blanked out. What does that mean? 3?
Yeah, basically it means that in our database we didn't get any IPs from those states.
So there might be no internet service providers in those 2 states. So which state's Wyoming? Is anybody here from Wyoming? See? Yeah. South Dakota? There we go.
So next stop for
FME
World Tour.
Yeah. It looks like.
If you see anyone from those states, tell them to turn the reporting on.
Yes. I like that the Saskatchewan guys are the LAS state place. It's flat as a pancake there. I'm sorry. I mean, what are they measuring? With that's like one LiDAR file could cover the whole thing, I think.
Well, maybe it makes not much sense for any other format.
Who's here from Saskatchewan? Yeah, good. Glad to see we have some representation. Do you use LAS? No, doesn't. Okay.
Does that say XML in the Northeast? I think it does.
There's an XML pocket. In what state is that?
That's
New
Vermont?
Hampshire? Live free or use XML. That must be what the license plate says. So, what else we notice? I find it odd.
Revit is interesting that we have Revit there.
And what state is that?
Mississippi, no?
We're Canadians, eh? Come on, there's got to be some Americans in here that can tell us what.
Mississippi, yes, it's Mississippi.
Is it Mississippi?
I'm good.
Oh, we're in the way. Sorry, it's this one. And you guys can't see. That says Revit. Trust us. Oh, you can't see any of this. That's XML up there. Oh, yeah. Sorry about the labeling. So we should tell you the sea of green is Esri, basically. That's what you really notice, seriously, is that it is a massive sea of green. The light blue is AutoCAD. So is this Arizona, I think? Yep. The AutoCAD state. SQL Server was the pocket. Yeah, yeah. So anyway, it's kind of interesting to see the trends. But if you were going to gamble on World Cup of data based on what you're seeing here, that should be informative, you'd think, if the usage stats contribute to the probabilities.
Let's take a look over in Europe here now. A little bit of a different picture, guys. What do you notice?
Well, as for football, I guess Italy pings the ball about and England excels.
And they read it back there, that's map info. Ukraine is stably in map info.
Let's see what it is. In the sort of eastern Balkan states, is that?
The soft underbelly of Europe. Oh, what happened?
What's this?
What?
I can't take. Hello, yeah. I can't even take this anymore, guys.
What happened?
This panel's a joke.
If only it was a joke.
How much have you guys been paid? Everybody knows that's the true math. You know, the whole thing's a joke. You,
Oh, what?
yeah, what's that? Yeah, I'll tell you what that is. I tell you, this whole thing's been fixed from the start. XML, there's no such thing as XML formats. There's XML flavors. XML is one big happy family. And I'll tell you one thing, buddies. The XML kingdom is not impressed. I dare you guys to open FME and count the number of XML, their flavors. How many XML flavors are there? How many? Do you know? There's more than 40. There's more than 40. I bet you guys can't even. I bet you guys can't even
XML
find.
is any good. Google would have bought it by
God, did
now.
get a smile off your face. I'll tell you what, XML's taken over the world. XML's taken over the world. And you're going to start to see I Love XML t-shirts everywhere. Hey, look at that up there. That's what FME's all about. XML. Okay? So imagine if you can, for a minute, a world without XML. I'll tell you one thing, the only person who would be here would be Mark Ireland. There would be no air traffic. No AIXM, so you'd all have to take a train. Okay? What about your city GML? No city GML. What about Europe? There'd be chaos. There'd be no inspiration in Europe, I'll tell you that much. No inspire, no inspiration. What about OpenStreetMap? There wouldn't be any OpenStreetMap. You'd have CloseStreetMap. Nobody would know what to do. Nobody would be able to deal with it. Okay, so you got to think about that. There's no such thing as XML formats. I've been thinking about this for a long time. Okay, go back one slide, Roger. Open a workspace.
What do you see?
Drop it in a text editor. What do you see? That's a workspace. XML. Heck, that is so beautiful. Sometimes I say, I'm like Peter. To heck with Workbench, man. I'm using XML. Right? Write it right in there. Okay? You just can't split up. You just can't split up XML. It's one big family. Heck, you even put his little baby brother Jason. You put his little baby brother Jason in another category. You can't do that. Okay? Just think about the world without XML. What about web services? There wouldn't be any. Okay? XML's pure. It's beautiful. I love XML.
Wow, that sort of thing almost never happens during a World Cup of Data panel. Whew, so I'm a little bit hot up here, so can we get back our, right, okay,
Yeah.
this is what, you said that for the, what was the deal
Well,
here?
yeah, there is another World Cup coming up soon. You may have heard of it. Not the one tomorrow. This one is the World Cup of Transformers. I think it's 2019. We're looking at next UC maybe in Qatar.
Yeah, is that Qatar, yeah? So it should be exciting.
Yeah, and
Well, Roger says he sold it to Qatar, but I didn't, I don't know. He has.
well, we know where it will be hosted.
Where?
Poland! Because it loves XML.
Yes, yes. Yeah, XML validator #1 in Poland right now. Strong support through Western Europe of the tester. That's what we see.
Italians
And-
are always
Especially around
stylish.
the world.
Yeah, and we're not surprised to see the Italians who have a flair for style. They're into map text styling, it looks like. Right there, you can just see, yeah. So we're not surprised by that. What else do we notice there that's interesting?
Well, Albania, UUDC generator. I don't know.
Albanians are making unique identifiers. So that's good. And I'm really trying hard not to make a joke about the joiner and Mother Russia and other countries nearby. So, so let's move on.
I better keep silent.
No need security here tonight.
Is security going to come for me too? Yeah, who was that?
Where is it? It's Lithuania.
Oh, it's the Russian enclave.
Yeah, it's there, yeah.
And is that XML?
Well, I don't know what Russia is, honestly. I don't recall.
Okay. All right.
We thought we'd take a look at some of the stats from the individual players. This is their scores in the World Cup so far. So
Yeah, so can the folks up there see that? Maybe we'll get you to just raise that up a little bit so because they would want to see that KML is the only XML representative on here. Is Don safely restrained back there? So yeah, that's how when we did this thing, we grouped the formats into teams, and that's why it was not shaped by itself. It was all the Esri formats lumped together, for example, so that's where this team comes from. But Oracle, very strong in there, and Postgres further down than Postgres has been punching above its weight in this tournament so far, I'd say.
few upsets. For sure.
Yeah. MapInfo is always very high in our usage stats. And so there's a lot of people, I know out there, it doesn't feel like MapInfo gets lots of press, but it is heavily used, at least as both a source and destination.
So that number 4 says Oracle non-spatial. Is that really non-spatial?
Well, there's number 2 is spatial, so...
Oh, I guess
I know if you add the 2 oracles together, they are very, very popular as well. I know many of the enterprises, certainly I know in the city of Calgary, FME wakes up every night at about 11 o'clock at night and runs all night grinding Oracle spatial data and non-spatial like crazy for all the oil companies there, heavily using the enterprises. So anyway, that's just a little look at this. And so this gives us a sense of what the landscape is. File geodatabase, of course, taking over on top of personal geodatabase. That one's been dropping. So if it's a stock, you should sell your personal geodatabase stock, I think. But yeah, so what else you got, Roger?
Ties in nicely.
So Dimitri, what do you say about this?
Well, I combined the participating teams into these groups and made this heat map based on the translation from to. So GIS to GIS or GIS to CAD and so on. So, and of course, yeah, CAD to GIS and GIS to GIS is the most popular ones.
Yes, and you notice, like, for example, cloud to cloud is an emerging market for us right now with exactly 0. So this isn't really the cash cow of safe software down here. So that tells me there's not a lot of people. In fact, there's actually nobody going from GME to ArcGIS Online or the other way, which would be 2 cloud formats. But yeah, you can see also the 3D stuff is kind of on the fringes for us. Raster has fallen in terms of overall percentages of translations done with FME. So you can view it 2 ways. I don't think people are using FME for less raster than they used to. It's just that there's more people doing other stuff in the vector line.
No, I would say that it's about the same. It was about 5% about 3-4 years ago.
Yeah.
It never went to above 7%. So
Right.
it's still about the same, 5%.
Yeah, of overall.
Yeah.
So anyway, that gives you a sense of the landscape, and you all are contributing to coloring this diagram, and that does help us. So
Well,
yeah.
only those who turn on the statistics.
Yes, that's right. If you've given us stats, you're helping us. I mean, we do use this. For example, when we see that shape is a number 1, and we know that the shape uses a DBF writer that was written by a student back in 1996 when Mark Sondheim was still paying us, then that caused us to say, maybe we should see if we can do a little faster job of writing DBFs, considering that's what all of you seem to be doing, and we were able to get some wins there. So this does affect what we do. We know that Tester, for example, got a lot of love once we realized that's the overwhelming thing that you do, and we're going to continue to give it more love. And even though Don is safely restrained out there, we still will give XML love despite it not being in the top 10.
Yeah, I used to turn the statistics off anytime I saw this message from, when I would install a program. But, you can see that we use it for play with it, to entertain you. So Don't turn it off.
So now we got to look, I guess, heading
Yeah.
into the final rounds tomorrow. You want us to take a look at one of the teams?
Yeah, so we thought we'd take a look at one of the heavyweights here, see what lineup they're going to put out
They're
there on the
starting
final
11.
day. So
Okay, well, that's the goaltender, is the File database. The rather nimble, kind of early in its career, but fairly solid.
Is it good at stopping things getting through?
We'll find out, I guess.
well, they're going with a 4-4-2 formation. It looks like today. So.
Right. So this is sort of the old stalwarts of the Esri crowd. They're the good, solid defenders.
The binary grid and E00, no coverage at the back though, so they might be a bit leaky.
So what would this be called?
The midfield.
Okay, the midfield.
Diamond formation.
Diamond formation.
False nine and
It's kind of interesting putting the personal database way up there, given that it's kind of at the end of its career.
I'm surprised it's still there.
Yes. It's kind of like,
David Beckham role.
well,
Sort of towards the end. Should be
or I was thinking of, I'm a Denver Broncos fan as much as the next guy, but I'm reminded of Peyton Manning maybe being up there.
okay.
Yep. So what else? Okay, the nimble young ArcGIS Online, the striker up front.
Venerable
Freshly
Shane
signed.
Kyle.
That's a pretty impressive lineup. The Esri juggernaut heading into tomorrow's round. I think,
Is Shapefile the Pele of GIS formats, or?
yes, could be, could be.
So it's time for predictions, guys. We're running up to some other programming, so
Yes.
have a look here. So just quick predictions here, Dale.
Wow. Okay, so I got to understand the grid here. So this tells me that. Tell you what. Why don't we each take all you guys have a bit more time? We'll give our 4 semifinalists. So I think we're going to Map Info up against ArcGIS. Map Info, I said, is very popular, but you just saw that team. I'm not betting against it. I'm going with ArcGIS. Tiffin ECW. I'm going with ECW. PostGIS and CSV. PostGIS in a cakewalk, I'd say. And MicroStation and AutoCAD. MicroStation is heavily used by a lot of customers for mapping, particularly in DOTs, but I'm sorry, it's going to be AutoCAD. And do I have to pick the final winner, or is that enough?
You just do the final winner.
The final
overall.
winner, I think we could see an upset tomorrow, and there's probably involved. I'm going to go with AutoCAD to take home the prize.
Okay.
Bob Bray, if you're here, get ready to collect all the hardware. So
So Dimitri,
Well, Don would say that I'm paid by Esri. Well, I go every year to San Diego, of course. I am paid. So here although my heart belongs to MapInfo, I go with Esri here. Then TIFF, MicroStation. Okay, here again, I vote with my heart. MicroStation is my love since 1993. And I would vote here to the last pair, CSV.
CSV.
Yeah.
And who takes it all?
Well, I'm paid, so by Ezra then.
Okay, so Ezra take it all.
Yes.
And Mark.
Battle of the CAD formats, I'm definitely a MicroStation person, I'm afraid, so I'm going to go for them. Even though it should have a capital S and not a small s.
Ah.
So MicroStation, I think CSV is going to sneak it over PostGIS as well. ArcGIS over MapInfo for sure.
Yep.
And, who cares about raster?
Well, Dimitri says 5% of the people.
Well, I'll represent the other 95%.
Okay, and who to take it all?
Tough call, but judging on those maps, it's going to be ArcGIS.
Okay.
hey, there you have it. So
All right.
thank you guys
so,
all.
Is that it, Roger?
That's it for today.
All right.
So just to wrap up today,
So we get off the
Yes,
stage?
yes.
Okay. Man.
you're welcome to. I guess unless you have any analysis on the social event tonight. Okay. So the social event tonight is taking place at Science World. So how it's going to work to get there? You're more than welcome to get there however you'd like, but we're going to be having shuttle buses that are going to be pulling up at the convention center around 6:15. They'll be heading over to Science World, and we can't actually get into Science World until 7. So if you get there early, just kind of mill around. It's on the water, so it's nice out today, so you can enjoy the beautiful weather. Please do remember to bring your conference badge. You'll need that to get in the doors. I don't have mine on me, but inside, somewhere in one of those compartments, there are 2 drink tickets there. So those will get you some drinks there, and there'll be a cash bar after. And I think that's more or less it for the social event. We had some great sessions today, some great keynotes, and we'll see you later tonight. Thanks.